we got this, Jameis. And I said, are you strong? They said, I'm strong if you strong. And I said, we strong then.
Excuse me, Dougie. Excuse me, Dougie. Excuse me, Dougie, fresh you're on.
My lock and load play this week at quarterback is Kyler Murray.
So when the juice says play Kyler, you play Kyler.
Murray out of the pocket. 7 seconds. 6 seconds. Murray heaves it downfield. Oh, it's caught! DeAndre Hopkins! Miraculous!
Playing a naked, uncorrelated Daniel Jones in a cash game lineup.
I mean,
right
he's
now. Are we
against-
getting the wave off on that?
And Daniel Jones showing his legs, showing his speed, and Jones into the end zone for the touchdown.
I feel like Josh Reynolds is going to be overlooked and he's super cheap.
On 3rd down and 1, and wide open is Reynolds for a first down.
So I'm going to roll the dice on this one a little bit. Feeling kind of frisky. But they're $2,200.
Who's this, the Rams?
The Rams.
I like the Rams deal.
Wilson steps up, throws, end zone, picked off. Intercepted by Darius Williams.
Welcome to The Pivot, show number 8. We're titling today, hey, Julio, are you strong?
You know I'm strong.
We strong then?
We strong.
Yeah, we strong.
Jared, you strong?
I'm strong.
Okay, good. We're welcoming back Jameis Winston this week in honor of Jameis Winston. He gave one of the best interviews after national championship game. That's next to Ricky Henderson, maybe the greatest thing I've ever seen recorded. Anyway.
Probably also the most famous robbery of crab legs
Yes.
in the history of the world.
Jameis Winston
was
being
Jameis
back
Winston.
in the NFL makes the NFL better play.
Allegedly. Should we say allegedly, or did it
I
actually
think
happen?
that factually happened.
Okay, all right.
So, anyway, we are The Pivot featuring the Juice. Hello, Juice.
What's up?
We got Jam Master Jay here as usual.
What's going on?
We are brought to you by Vast Bank as always, and executively produced by Toby Biocchini, who is now recovering from COVID-19. So
Yes.
good job,
news.
Toby, on that. I'm glad you're back in it. We are in studio at Crybaby Hill Studios with a guest this week, with special guest, we'll call it.
Yeah.
Why don't Jam Master Jay? Why don't you do the introduction?
The guest we have today is Josiah. He happens to be related to me. He's my cousin. And we've spent several years.
Which side? Mom or dad?
My mom's side.
Okay, I
We've
can see
spent
it.
several years over the last decade battling it out in fantasy football.
And I think you've admitted that he might be a more serious player than you.
I mean, I would admit that a couple years ago, but not anymore. I'm
Well, I
better
mean, you do
at
a
this
show,
point.
right?
Yeah, I do a show. I'm
Does
on
he do a
gaining
show?
on me
He
now,
does a show, Okay. Okay. So, but who would you say is there a better player between the two of you? Much heads-up competition?
I'm going to have to say it's me, but
yeah.
I guess so.
I mean, this is right. Like
This is-
before Thanksgiving break, guys.
We're-
You're doing this.
We're right here, Julio, just for the fun of this one today. We're going to just see what these two come up with, right? And
Yeah.
We'll interject when necessary. Anyway, as usual, we like to give not only shout-outs to our sponsor, the Vast Bank, but we friends that are listening and contributing in any way. Cousin, we understand that you've been listening and contributing.
I have been appreciating it.
I got a friend that I shouted out last week, Big Cat Richard Battles, is having a little surgery today, so shout out to him. He's been listening. Very nice comments, not only made, but texts sent saying supportive things. Julio, any friends you can think?
I have so many friends, but I'm not going to thank any of them today. I just don't feel like it.
Just thank the nation, right? Just for being there.
Oh,
the
of
Juice
course.
Nation.
Yeah, the nation, absolutely.
The Juice Nation.
It's growing every week.
Jam
right?
Master Jay, anybody special? You got your special person here?
I'm going to shout out Jordan, my brother-in-law, who might
Nice.
possibly listen this week.
Who I hear is the real deal. Jordan,
He is the real deal.
He says a lot of nice things about you, Jordan. So I hope if you're listening.
I haven't yet because he hasn't listened, but when he does,
Yeah,
I'm going to say
well,
something nice about
Jared,
it.
as of last week, Jared hadn't even informed him he was doing this.
No, I just told him last week.
Oh,
Yeah, so-
okay.
He's got his own
There we go.
website,
not
One
his
Week
fault.
Season.
Okay,
Which
Jordan,
way,
my bad, dude.
let's give Jordan's website a shout out.
It's oneweekseason.com. Basically, you can get a lot of information and analysis on the week in the NFL.
So
if
say that
you're-
again, 1 week.
Oneweekseason.com. If you want to go there and try to get some information that you wouldn't be able to get anywhere else, give it a shot.
My understanding is that Jordan is a former Millionaire Maker winner.
No, he's not. He's
Strong finisher.
Yeah, strong finisher. Yeah.
Okay, I understand it's a good product, and
Right.
I myself have looked at it, and I endorse it fully. And so, if Jared said it's a good product, you guys can count on Jared. So
It is a great product. I get a lot of my information from it.
Josiah, you use that product at all?
I have used it occasionally, yeah.
Nice.
It's got a lot of good content on it.
I use Line Star a lot. We'll give them a shout out. People ask me all the time, like especially with like college football and some of the more off sports. It's hard when you're trying to get a lineup in at 6:30 and 7 o'clock kickoff, and you don't know who that $4,000 freshman you want to squeeze in is. It's nice to have some resources. NFL, my resource is the juice, guys. So that's pretty much what I shop with, and that's how I roll. So
I mean, if you want some solid D, you always go to the juice.
Okay. The intro music I'm anticipating this week.
You haven't even asked me who my stuff is, where I get mine from.
You get your stuff from a. We're not giving away that secret. That's like Kentucky Fried Chicken telling them where the stuff. Right?
True.
What's in the recipe?
Yeah, there are a lot of good owners in Christian's Fantasy Football League.
Yes, Julio gets his from divine intervention, is what I'm assuming, and that's why we count on it. And he doesn't need any other resources other than sleeping at night and waking up in the morning and it being in
straight
his brain.
From the Pope. I'm Catholic,
so you can endorse whatever site you want, but as far as I'm concerned, you get it from everywhere.
That's true.
Yeah. The most informed guy in the industry. I'm going to say that. I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts. The Juice brings info, and he's about to bring us a lot. And look forward to this show, guys. Let's a quick recap, as we call it, hindsight 2020 of last week. We grinded out some points. I think we finished right around 130-ish. Left us in the top 10 somewhere. We're now second overall in Rays League, behind somebody I'm not familiar with. I think it's that Jonathan Tomato guy we spoke of. Heckin' Champ is third, and Guardy 1 is now fourth. Wow. So they all kind of label themselves Team Pivot when they do well. So we've gotten some people up there fighting. We've definitely gotten Guardy's interest up, and Heckin' Camp is definitely never wanting to lose. So we're pushing them to do better.
Yeah.
So the results are there. We lost in the heads-up match our first heads-up match at competition of the year. We got 6 more weeks to do this.
It was $200 on the line, right?
Yeah, there's $200 each week on the line. It's not paid out till the end, so hopefully we won't be paying out. But you guys, the juice, we might be cutting salary if we don't get this thing won. But
can't get cut much more for me.
The guy I'm playing the best part about it is the guy we're playing heads up, he's allowed me to reveal this on the air. Hopefully his wife isn't listening. His nickname is also the Juice. A lot of listeners will recognize who he is, and he definitely wasn't shy about telling me this week how stupid and terrible I am playing heads up fantasy football. So we need to crush him this week. I don't want it close. I don't want to sweat. We're not playing Jared Goff. That's good. No offense, but we somehow squeezed him in the cash lineup. I think I have written on the schedule: don't like golf, don't want golf, don't bring me no more golf.
If you're a quarterback and you can't capitalize on playing the Seattle Seahawks, then you're going to end up on the do not play
He's
list.
just a nightmare.
All right. Well, hold on. All right. So can I interject here a little bit?
Yes, please do.
So let's
we didn't play.
Let's recap last week real quick. I mean, after the first round of games last week, I was about to just jump off a ledge.
I thought we were going to be finishing in the bottom third of this.
As I think everybody was, because the chalk, like Mike Davis did like 8 points.
We didn't play him in Ray's lineup.
Everybody did really, really poorly, like in the first round of games. Fast forward to the second round of games, the first half, everybody was doing bad. I think I texted you guys this is the worst week of fantasy
football. It was a low-scoring
ever.
week.
Yeah.
And then like the second half of the second half games like started going, and like the fireworks went off. We had that miraculous play from Kyler to Hopkins at the end of that game.
That pumped me up. We flew up the chart on that.
As did most people. I mean, I think the cash line, for cash games, was like 115 last week.
I heard a lot of good players.
Insanely low.
A lot of good players putting up 121s, 110s.
So there were a lot of duds last week.
What about you, Cuz? How did you do last week?
I had a good week last week.
Good. Well, sounds like you can help us with another tough slate.
We'll see if I can do it 2 weeks in a row. No promises there.
What's really good for you? Where were your lineups finishing at?
My best lineup, I think, I finished at 175 last week.
Wow.
That's what I got. I had 174.
Ray's League's team didn't somehow get 174. So, but we'll hopefully we will. We need a big week this week. What about you? How did you do, James?
My highest lineup was only 160, so I didn't have a good week.
I think my highest lineup was like 130 something. I was nowhere near the crab, as we call it. I missed. So I have no one else to blame.
Yeah.
But this week I'm feeling confident. We're going back at it. We're excited. We seem to have a good spirit.
Real fast, Josiah, what was your top play last week?
My top lineup was when I stacked Pittsburgh-Cincinnati game. That game went off well. A lot of good plays on there. T. Higgins, Claypool, Juju, Big Ben. A lot of those guys went off, and then just throw in throw in a Hopkins and a DeAndre Swift in there, and it turned out pretty good.
That's
Which
a great
also
lineup.
goes along with that narrative that nothing happened until the second half. Claypool was almost had next to no points until the fourth quarter,
It
where
was-
he got
yeah,
like
two
two
touchdowns.
touchdowns.
So we established after last week there are two definitive rules in the pivot. Number one being if Juice says play Kyler, we play Kyler, right? Argument's
Yes, sir.
over. Two, if Jam Master Jay throws a voodoo on a player, they're just out of the lineup, right? This Duke Johnson, Garoppolo stuff, which just got to stop. If he says don't play him, we're not playing him.
Yeah.
Right? So those are the two rules we have now in the Pivot Nation here, and we'll live by them.
Yeah.
Before we move on to this week, we have to give Juice credit. Another W in the cheap defensive column, right?
Yes,
Rams
sir.
D,
Yep.
2,200, and
They did
double
great.
digits, right?
Yeah.
Starting
They
to,
killed
starting to kind of become like death and taxes, man. You can just count on
I don't know.
the D.
We got the first comment on the show from somebody I don't know, and it was some guy saying, "If you can do cheap defenses, why can't you do good cheap teams?" I'm like, I don't know. We can try cheap team. I mean, we want to have some savings when we're done in this lineup. I'm fine with that. We'll work on it. But thanks to whoever that was for the comment and recognizing that Juice is the cheap defensive wizard. 7-0 officially.
Wait a minute. So you say, why can't you do cheap teams? What does he mean by that?
You're gonna have to go look at the comment. I don't know if this person
Maybe
is
Okay.
he's probably
quite
talking about.
familiar with the fantasy world. I think this guy might have been.
We
a
were
random.
making fun of ourselves for being terrible at cheap wide receivers. Maybe that's what he was referencing.
Maybe that's
Maybe that was
That's
it.
probably what he means.
I don't think that's what it meant. I'll talk to you guys a little more about what off air about where I think this comment came from.
That's awesome. I keep the comments coming. I
Yes,
love
even
comments.
even the negative ones.
Yeah,
even
yeah.
if you want a cheap team,
Yeah,
we'll
even
bring
if
you.
they don't make sense, keep them
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
But yes, 7-0. I mean, that's a lot of pressure. Are you going to go the full season with giving the listeners
That's
a
the
cheap
goal,
defense
right?
every year?
That's the
It
goal.
makes making a build a lot easier if you know you can just plug the Juice's defense in there and they're going to get you 10 points, right?
I like doing it.
Yeah. Okay. So you introduced the guest, but we'll quickly run through this because at times I spend a little too much time on this. Cuz, give us the basics. You've been playing for how long?
I've been playing fantasy in general for probably 10 years.
Mostly season long, and then developed
Started off with
into-
season long. Probably been doing DFS, DraftKings specifically, for at least 5 years.
I like the DraftKings specifically myself.
Yep.
Julio loves to give me stories about his FanDuel crushing. So.
Yeah.
I mean, FanDuel again.
We're gonna just
Hey, if
crushed
he's winning
FanDuel
on it,
this
how
last
can you
week.
stop him? I mean,
we already asked you who wins between you two. Does he ever give you like voodoo on your plays? Does like he just call you and tell you your plays suck, and then they just actually suck like he does our plays on the routine?
I haven't had that experience yet, though.
Okay.
It seems like with the luck he's had lately, it might happen.
If he texts you and tells you his player sucks, get him out of the line. I mean,
Right.
He's literally laid a hex on
I
you.
literally thought about JMJ when you brought up Duke Johnson. I was like, ugh.
Okay. So to pivot off the last week, I just have to, before we move on, say that I am the Daniel Jones whisperer. I mentioned playing Daniel Jones in cash. He'll probably make the intro somewhere. And he had a fantastic game and would have been a great cash play. So you guys don't play Daniel Jones, but when I say play Daniel Jones, you might want to take a listen. Okay, so I haven't claimed anything. So
How many points did he score last week?
enough. We'll
Was
just
it like
go-
18?
Enough.
If it's 18, it's
was
it's
enough,
not
is
much.
what it
He was so
Piggyback-
cheap, it's all I
It was
needed.
enough.
To piggyback off your Daniel Jones comment, I hope I never hear you say Daniel Jones because I never
It
want
was
to play
naked
Daniel Jones.
Jones, and it was beautiful. Okay, well, so let's transition by getting a general overview to this slate. I'm going to go with this one. I did a cash lineup right away, like Monday night when the first time, and I locked it in, and I've been excited about it, and I haven't changed it. And we'll talk more about the cash lineup off air than we will on air, but we'll mention some of the cash plays. But I still think as far as making a team for Rays League, which, as you mentioned before show, Julio, that the Sunday-Monday game totally opens the slate up a little bit.
Yes, considerably.
So let's start off with what are the games with the big totals?
There's two.
Just only two?
There's two, and I wouldn't even say they're big. I'd just say they're above 50.
Okay.
What I think what's interesting about this week is that most of the games are kind of bunched together, and their totals are like 48, 47-ish.
Right.
So, I mean, you got to think about it this week. There's no Kyler. There's no there's
No Josh
Mahomes in
Allen.
ours.
No Josh Allen.
No Josh
No Diggs.
Allen.
Who-
No Russ. So no Seahawks.
No Goff, even if he's playing.
No Goff. But there's there's just a lot of teams that are fantasy gold mines that are not on the slate.
Quickly, just for viewer easy, what is the Sunday night game?
The Chiefs Raiders.
And Monday night is Rams Buccaneers.
Yes.
Okay,
that's right.
So that does open having the Chiefs on this. Really opens.
And the Raiders even.
All
I mean, they've been good.
We could build a lineup around that game. And
I mean, if they played earlier this season, if you remember, the Raiders beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead.
Sounded like that's a game you like a little bit for some points.
Yeah.
What's the total on that game?
56.5.
Is that the highest?
It is, I think.
Outside of tonight's game.
Outside of tonight's, exactly.
I wish we could get.
Yeah.
I wanted to call Ray's can we get tonight's game on the slate somehow?
Right.
So we can get Kyler played.
But real quick, the only other games that are over 50 are Falcons Saints and Packers Colts.
Jameis Falcons.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried about Kamara with Jameis out there. He doesn't like that short stuff. I mean, he's
a little banged up too.
He doesn't have time for that short stuff. I mean, he really doesn't.
He's always playing from behind. He's got to launch it down the field.
500 yards to throw points.
How many touchdowns do you think Jameis threw for last year?
30, right?
Right.
It was 30 and 30, wasn't it?
Yeah, but no, how many interceptions did he run?
I think it's like 30. Yeah,
it's going to be the best 30 for 30 ever when it's the Jameis Winston 30 for 33, 30, 30.
Dude, he's really popular this week.
He's Line Star's best efficient. Line Star giving you more love here.
Yeah.
Best value play of the week, Jameis Winston. We'll find out if that's where the juice is at, or if Cuz is there, or if any of you guys are there. Before we do that, any games were just like fading? What about you, Cuz? You see one that you're just going to straight fade?
Games on fading?
Yeah, we try to narrow the player pool down a little bit. Is there something you're seeing that you're afraid might be a big under or something like that?
Yeah,
you were all over the Pittsburgh-Cincinnati game, which was one we didn't play much of. So if you don't have a big under, give us a big over you like.
I don't know if there's any games I'm going to fade 100%, but I will say there's not a lot of games that I love either.
Yeah.
Like the last few weeks, there's been at least 3 games where I'm I want to make sure I have a
correlated
stack
plays
on that.
this week maybe? Are we doing one-offs somewhere just to try to find points?
I think there's going to have to be more one-offs this week than I've been doing in the
Okay.
past, just because of how the slate is.
What about you, J Master J? You see any points? Game you're loving with points?
Right now, I like the Miami-Denver game.
I do like that. That's a sneaky one,
I
right?
do
There's
too.
a lot of cheap plays in that.
Yeah.
We'll see if we end up on some of that because definitely like some of the plays in that. Both sides.
Yeah.
Of it.
It's the lowest total of the week. Just FYI.
Okay, we're taking the over, right, J Master J?
We'll take the over.
Okay, well,
I'm not saying not play it. I'm just pointing that out.
we're
It's
signed
the
up for the over right now. So
Yeah.
we got you on the under there, show killer.
Hey.
I'm just kidding. You know,
Hey, I'm defensive today. I don't know what it is.
we love because you came in. You're so used to scoring 200 points, and when we didn't score 200, on those weeks you're tough. The last time we didn't have the greatest week, you came in here doing the Tim Tebow apology, but
That's right.
you don't need to. You've already proven
No.
yourself best in the industry to me, Juice. So
Thank you. I feel
There's
better now.
no lack in confidence on this side.
Okay,
of the
good.
table. More just excitement about hearing what you're going to come up with in a kind of tough week.
I would say though, real quick, to piggyback off of Cuz, aka Josiah, that
I got a lot of J's.
there's a, I think this week more so than any, it's hard to love or hate a game because they're all kind of the same game.
Right. They
You
really
know?
are. I think
So-
that's what he was kind of saying.
Yeah. So it's I think what's going to be interesting about this week, you guys are saying it's more one-offs. I'm even going to I think that's a very popular way to look at the slate. I'm going to go even a little bit off the grid on that.
I think I see.
bit.
I think I see where you're going, and I'm going to like it. I think I've got to. I don't. We talk about this a lot. I have no idea what the juice is going to tell me on each show. I'm as excited as a kid at Christmas to find out what I'm going to be sold from Jam Master Jay, the guest. I have no idea what they're going to give me. So this week I'm excited. I think I have a lean to where you might be going, and we'll see if we'll see. Any lock and loads? Any guys that Jam Master Jay? Who's the guy?
I mean,
that
the
you-
obvious one is Dalvin Cook
Dalvin Cook is a lock. Could be a lock and load
against Dallas, 9,000, but it's Dalvin Cook against a pretty good matchup for himself. We faded him against Chicago last week. He got 15 points. That might scare some people away, but
He
is
got
Dalvin
28
Cook.
carries.
28 carries, or 30 carries and only 28
Oh,
points.
okay. Was it 30?
Or 15
Jam Master
points.
Jay, you want me to tell him, or do you want me to tell him?
Am I Jam Master J now?
Oh, wait. Whoo, juice. Sorry. Wow. I mean, that is disrespectful.
I mean, he's a handsome man. I'm just, I'm just saying.
I got a lot of J's, guys. I'm calling him Cuz because I can't. Jared, Josiah, Jude.
What am I supposed to be told here?
My show mental state does not allow me to be that detailed. So that's why we go with nicknames and things and pointing that you guys can't see. Juice, I'm pointing at you.
Yes.
What was the question?
You want to tell me something?
Yes. Dallas's defense is a little more tougher against the run than they
Yes,
appear.
I understand that, and I've
I
noticed
only know
that.
that because we had an argument in a past game about I thought Dallas had this sorry run defense and wanted to stick Boston Scott in a game, and he pointed out that Dallas isn't as terrible against the run as it appears. I'm not saying that Dalvin Cook isn't
Right.
chalk.
And I've noticed that, but
He is overwhelmingly the most popular play this week.
Okay, let's get top 5 at each position.
Sure.
What's top 5 most owned quarterback?
Let's. Okay, you want to go quarterback first?
Let's start at quarterback.
So number 1, who do y'all think?
Ooh, that's
Herbert. Number 1 play on the week.
Number 1 highest projected.
Probably Jameis Winston.
Herbert.
I think Herbert.
So you all are wrong. It's Lamar Jackson.
Oh, really?
Wow.
11.9%.
Why?
Deshaun Watson. 11%.
I don't see that one. Do you see that one?
So
I don't either.
I have a theory on this. Lamar Jackson. So if we look at this week,
I'm benching him from Herbert in every one of my
right? I would
season
too.
longs.
Yeah. What's this week missing in quarterbacks that we've had pretty much every other week?
I don't know, man. These questions.
Quarterbacks that can run.
Oh yeah, you're right.
We don't have Kyler. We don't have Russ.
We have the white statues.
Right. We've got those guys. So Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson are the closest to kind of, and
You got
Cam
Cam.
Newton
You got Cam.
to filling that
Cam's got a
bill.
good matchup, but Herbert
I
has
quietly kind of like Cam this week.
Coincidentally, they're the top 3 owned quarterbacks.
right. Herbert though can run. And,
He's number 4.
Okay, I don't. He should be number 1. I'm not saying that's who he should play, but he'll. My prediction is by time kickoff, Herbert is number 1.
Jameis is 5th. And they're
Yeah, I
all
think they're gonna be 1,
they're
too.
all 11 to 10% owned. So
Play who
again,
you want. Right.
play whoever you want at quarterback.
Okay, moving more importantly to running back. I think
Okay.
that's way more important.
So running back, Dalvin Cook is number 1 at 39%.
Trending towards probably 50, 60.
That's insanely high.
Would he say? Would we say in cash games he's a must play or not a must play?
Yeah, I guess. I would probably say.
I do have him in the cash lineup. Luckily,
DeAndre Swift is 2nd at 28%.
love me some Swift. So obviously his statistics great. Obviously the fact that they announced that he is the starter was great. If you watch him play, he
looked amazing.
Herschel Walker like
Yes.
out there. Like he looks like he cares more than everybody else playing. Right.
That one touchdown run he had where he just bowled someone over on his way to the goal line.
So because your Swift play, you told us about your highest lineup included Swift last week. Was that after the announcement of him being the starter, or did you just kind of?
No, I've
like
actually
Swift?
played Swift. I think every week for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah,
he hasn't really gone up in price, but he's been producing every week.
And he gets catches and he gets
Exactly.
touchdown. He's got touchdown value.
And now he's
target
getting the
value.
rushes. So I mean,
I
like
like
him a lot.
If there was a lock and load this week for me, Swift would be in our lineup.
he's right up there for me as a top 3 play.
Anybody want to agree that we just put Swift in at
I like Swift.
at one of the rank
He
back
looked
spot?
like a stud.
Juice?
I like
Okay,
Swift.
good.
I do like Swift.
We've had past Swift pushback, but this week I think it makes too much sense. Okay, I think Swift is the lock and load. Do we consider for Ray's league? We know Cash. I think Cook is in the lineup, and we'll keep him in the lineup. For Ray's league, do we consider? Do we have to play Cook?
I'm probably going to play almost 0 Cook this week.
Hey, I'm willing to take the chance. He's led us to Cook before anybody was on Cook.
I love Cook. You guys know how much I love Cook.
But 9,000 is a lot, and it's hard to make lineups when you know with that.
Yeah.
Is this a 3 running back week?
I
Because I have another play that I think might be good.
think there's a lot of good running back plays.
Yeah.
Well, give us plays you like. Let's start there. Let's give us some of your top plays.
As far as value and high ceiling, a play I like this week a lot, which is why I like the Miami-Denver game, is Salvin Ahmed.
We had a funny text
did too.
conversation
Yeah.
about the cash lineup where I had inserted a mod in it, and Jared gave me the stamp of approval, and Julio gave me the What are you doing? What are you doing? That's a cash lineup. What are you doing?
He had 21 attempts, 85 yards,
Scored
1 touchdown.
within 10 seconds of the game.
Yeah, it was really quick.
And he looked good,
He
too.
really did.
Julio didn't get to enjoy that fade for very long. Like he enjoyed the fade for about okay, maybe that wasn't the best.
I
time.
felt so bad when I saw the ticker saying he
The
scored a
cash game
touchdown.
week turned when I'm sure a lot of you out there saw this play. Devontae Parker scores a touchdown. Of course, it's replayed because everything's replayed. They wave it off, and the next one it goes to Jakeem Grant Sr., who we had scrubbed out of the cash lineup. After I touted him to anybody who texted me or called and said, "Do you have a cash game play that I should play?" I said, "Yeah, play Grant."
Are we?
My
are
man
we?
Juice loves Grant,
Yeah.
but we didn't play him in our cash game lineup, so we're gonna work on that.
Are we 100% that Jakeem Grant Sr. has a child?
I'm
or
not.
no?
That is a good
It's
question.
to be determined.
Yeah.
That is an assumption we have made. He is Jakeem Grant the first. We know that.
That's
So
awesome.
that's the-
Real quick before we get too into this, because I wanted to just go over the ownership percentages really quickly.
Okay. Yeah, we forgot wide receiver.
Yeah, so
And tight
wide
end.
receiver Jacoby Myers is 23%.
I love him. Love him some season long. Love him. Have him in the cash game lineup right now.
Keenan Allen's 18, Justin Jefferson's 18,
Keenan
Adam
Allen.
Thielen's 16,
It's the never let you down.
Devontae's 15. So here's I want to say this because my thinking on this is you have Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen as 2 of the top 5 owned receivers,
Right.
and you have Dalvin Cook as the number 1 running back.
Okay.
So here's my thing. Like, I don't think that game is going to shoot out to the point where they're all going to get theirs.
No.
Yeah, I agree.
No.
It's gonna
So
be one
I
or
think
the other.
I think you've got to take a stand on this a little bit.
Right.
Right. So that's why I'm saying Dalvin Cook.
I'm fine with me. I think we have to play Cook in the cash lineup. I don't think we have to play
Yeah.
him in race.
I think
League.
GBP for me at 40%.
If we could leverage the field and get a good play.
Yeah, let's,
fairly easy fade.
let's ask this question. Do you think Minnesota is going to be making Dallas play from behind for majority of the game?
No.
No? You think it's going to be pretty even?
I think it's going to be more even than we think.
More even than you think? Well,
So who do you
But
think
that's
is going to
just
score
my
the points
opinion.
for Dallas?
That's a good question.
because
Hopefully-
we
hopefully, I mean,
got the ginger back.
right.
What's his name?
Andy Dalton.
CD
Andy
Lamb
The
had
red-
some good games.
The red rocket
Rocket.
/ rifle.
I like CD Lamb on a playback with Minnesota. That's the tough thing about it if you want to play the Minnesota game is if you're playing any piece back now. The cash game
Let's
lineup.
remember, Minnesota is not some defense you got to be worried about.
No, they're not good
at
this
all.
year on defense.
At all.
So we do have some possible.
Dallas
playback.
is coming off a bye. So I think they are a sneaky, under the radar, cheap stack. The Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
I actually kind of like Andy Dalton this week.
When I said I thought I saw where Julio was going,
I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
Wow.
No,
Okay.
no, no.
Just
I'm
give
not going there.
That's
But-
for the listeners.
But I'm
That's
saying
just
like
for the
if,
listeners.
if you want to go a little bit different, that's a good stack to look at.
I like it. Okay. I like it. What do you think about that? Cuz I'm pointing at you.
I actually kind of like Andy Dalton this week. I like Michael Gallup a lot this week.
Okay.
Really?
He's really, really cheap. He still
They're
gets a
all
lot of
cheap,
targets.
man.
What is he, 3,700?
3,700.
I always
Yeah.
say about wide receivers, they're cheap for a reason, right? Like,
CD Lamb's 5K.
But they also usually have a high,
I think
high
CeeDee Lamb
ceiling.
is going to have a pretty good game. Him and Dalton had a pretty good thing going before Dalton got killed, almost nearly killed.
I mean, you all know my love affair with Andy Dalton.
I guess it's probably important time just to say right now as we start to build this lineup that we miss you, Kyler. We're sorry that you're off this week. We can't
Yes.
play you. Have good luck tonight.
Is
obviously.
Kyler Murray better than Patrick Mahomes yet?
No.
I don't think he's going to. I think he will be. Next week will depend on the matchups.
Is
but
his salary going to be higher than
I
Patrick
think I would-
Mahomes next
You want to
week?
make a little bet?
I think for DFS, I would rather have Kyler than Mahomes this year.
Me too.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Two rushing touchdowns is tough to beat.
He just
Yeah,
makes it
right.
look so easy.
Yeah.
he does.
It's
when he
I thought
runs,
he had a bad game last week too. I don't
Yeah.
think he really even had close to a ceiling.
Let's
Whenever
hope, let's
Kyler
hope
Murray-
for greatness tonight
Yeah.
because Russell Wilson has let us down the last couple of weeks with his greatness. Let's just hope tonight's game is
When
great.
What did
Kyler Murray-
what did I say about Russell Wilson last week by
did.
throwing interceptions?
Hey,
Yeah,
you
you were
nailed
right.
it.
By the way, the Rams had a pick six call back in that game. I don't know if you saw that.
I
I
did
did
see
not
that.
see that.
But
that saddens me because that would have been great.
I got to say this before I lose my chance to. Whenever Kyler Murray runs to the end zone, it always looks like the defense forgot how to play football.
Right.
It's like there's
Correct.
no one around. He just
He's like I said, seeing him live, I feel like was a blessing, and I got to see Barry Sanders live, and he's the only thing I compare to watching Barry Sanders play football live.
Real quick, top 5 running backs: Dalvin, DeAndre, your boy Duke Johnson, and Giovanni Bernard round out the top.
I think
5.
Duke Johnson's officially on the board. Is he
I'm
officially
sorry.
on the board?
Kalen Balaj is number 5.
I like Kalen.
I like Kalen Balaj.
People are still going to play Duke Johnson this week.
They are still going to play.
How
We're
much
not. We're not playing Duke Johnson.
What's his price?
5.4.
Like the same as last week.
No, I'm not doing that.
No, not doing it. It was painful knowing that he'd been voodooed and that there was no way he was going to do good.
If he was 4K, maybe. But
Okay, well, let's get some quarterback wide receiver combos out there. What's your favorite, Cuz, for the week?
I think a good lock is just going to be a Herbert and Allen.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I
going to
mean,
be
that's
easy
your.
play.
I mean, the floor on that is great, right?
Right.
Pretty high.
Right.
I mean, Allen has just been Mr. Consistent. Herbert looks amazing. He gets
Yeah,
you some
he's-
sneaky rushes. He's got rushing touchdown potential.
Right.
Fantasy wise, Herbert's like one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. But I think if you're going to go off the popular opinion a little bit, I like Emmanuel Sanders with Jameis Winston.
Okay. I like that.
I think Winston, he's going to look downfield. Sanders is the downfield guy.
You think he's looking strong?
We'll find out.
Okay. He's strong. I guarantee he's strong. Okay, J Master J, before I'm actually, this is the anticipation of what Julio's going to say is unreal. What are you going to say? I agree with your cousin a lot. I think that's a great, I can't argue with that.
Well,
both of them when he gave me
He said one of the ones I wanted to do. But to pivot off of that, then I'll go with this one.
Which one's the one you liked?
I liked Herbert Allen.
I think that it's hard not to like.
Yeah,
that.
but my other one is Winston Michael Thomas.
Ooh, okay. So a lot of Jameis Winston fans out there. It's a good day for Jameis.
Yeah, I mean he's not the best quarterback, but what you can count on is just Hail Marys down the field.
It's like
Someone's gonna catch it, maybe.
That's what
spring
he's gonna
training
do.
baseball where everybody's undefeated and everybody has hope and there's a
With-
chance.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
Jameis.
we hasn't looked bad
Jameis
yet.
Winston has a clean slate and some good things in his past.
Yeah.
And,
It's with Winston. It's basically that pass you saw from Kyler Murray to DeAndre Hopkins over and over again, and it doesn't work out most of the time. But when it does, it helps your
I don't mean
wide
to
receivers.
cut you off or anything, but please don't. I mean, I love me some Jameis Winston, but the Kyler Murray comparison.
It's not a comparison. I'm saying that Jameson Winston just does that over and over again.
Nobody
It's
does what he
I hope
did.
someone's down the field.
Nobody's done that. Give me one highlight where you see a guy throw it to his left on the run.
I'm not saying
opposite
he's going to
body,
succeed
as he's falling
at
out
it.
of bounds.
I'm saying he's going to attempt it over
in
and
the
over
one
again.
place where his wide receiver can outjump the three people that are covering. Anyway, Kyler Love is huge on this show. Sorry, I was teasing you more than anything. I get what you're saying.
I got you.
Did you all see Josh Allen's reaction when he saw that play after the game, after the touchdown? He just kind of looked like, what the heck just happened?
Feel free to post your videos on our Twitter account of you attempting that with your best friend outside, and because
That'd be
I'd love to
interesting.
see someone be able to pull
I
off
have
a good
someone that can pull it off.
Brian Nayfield.
Brian Nayfield,
Yeah.
in your backyard.
And we're gonna have to give Nayfield a link to
Yeah.
this show because
Yes,
he's the
yes.
one quarterback, backyard quarterback that could have pulled it off.
He looks like Bernie Kosar, by
He
the way.
does, and he played just like him.
Yeah,
he was
slung it just like
literally Hall of Fame backyard quarterback, first ballot. I mean, so okay, let's start building this lineup a little. He gave us Herbert and Allen and a good pivot with Winston and Manuel. You gave us Winston and
Michael Thomas.
and you also approve of Herbert and Allen.
Oh
if
yeah, I
you
love
were.
that play.
Okay, Juice, give it to him because I know it ain't going to be that.
It's not. But I do like those plays quite a bit.
I do too.
So I'm going to go with a guy that is kind of going to go with the theme of the week, right? I feel like this is kind of a throwback week.
Okay.
Lower point totals.
We are starting off with 1980s rap this week as the intro. So
and
it is a bit of a throwback.
This guy's been around for a while.
Song was on the first mixtape I ever received.
He's not a running quarterback, but I'm okay with that.
We'll talk. Well, we're gonna.
This team the last couple of weeks has been going more pass oriented versus the run, which
You're killing me. Give it to me.
which is against their kind of philosophy. But my guy this week is Big Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh wow!
Really?
Golly.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot too.
With paired with
I'm gonna double stack him with Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson.
okay.
Wow, this is just pressing the button. Okay,
So let me.
I thought we were going to get the David Carr reboot with Kelsey, Tyreek Hill coming back.
Let me make a case for this. So, the top 3 implied team totals this week are Kansas City,
Okay.
who we could play for sure with Mahomes at 31.75. Second is Seattle, 29.75. Third are the Pittsburgh Steelers at Jacksonville.
And they've scored over 4 touchdowns every game.
Dude,
right?
they are not running the ball anymore. They have figured out James Conner is washed.
Yeah, he's not very good.
He
He's not
looks
good.
terrible.
They
He
have
looks not
3
explosive.
incredible receivers: Juju, Johnson, and Claypool. They are a passing team. They are getting up on teams and they are throwing the ball versus running the ball this year.
I've heard arguments for playing all 3 of them.
I mean, I think that's a little ambitious. I can't see all 3 of them going off, but I could see 2 of the 3 having pretty big games.
I think if you played all 3 last week, it would have turned out good.
Would have turned out well. Yeah.
So we like correlated lineups around here.
Yeah.
You said that one-offs are great, but that you were going to have some correlation in this lineup. Is it Robinson? Is it cheap Cole?
Cole.
I thought that might be Cole.
And Cole is when we say no, not Cole. I'm sorry, Conley.
That's who I meant.
Conley.
Is he minimum salary?
He's min salary. He got 8 targets last week and 8 targets the week before. Coincidentally, that's right when the new quarterback came on board.
Okay, cuz you're hearing for this for the first time like I am. What's your reaction to it? You obviously didn't. It's totally out of right field to me, but I like it. I've heard it in the industry a little bit.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on it?
I love the Pittsburgh play. If you're going to play all those guys, you do have to play someone from Jacksonville.
Right.
Someone's going to score points if Pittsburgh is going to score all those points.
Well, they don't necessarily need to score points, but statistically they might have.
Right.
Yeah.
They're going to score fantasy points.
Right.
And so, I mean, I think you got to go with one of the cheap guys, whether it's Cole, Chenault, or Conley.
What about running a 2+2?
I
Well, it
don't
would be three
see.
ti-
I,
three
I,
times
I
two.
normally I would say Robinson would be perfect play here, but
It's Pittsburgh.
It's Pittsburgh's run defense.
What do you think? You're a big Robinson fan. Is this
Robinson's going to be involved whether they're running it or passing.
They are,
it.
but he's a little bit banged up too, and they're a double-digit dog at home. So I mean, this could get kind of out of control.
Pittsburgh's got a really good run defense.
Yeah.
Not as
exactly.
good against the pass.
So if you were playing 2 out of the 3 Pittsburgh wide receivers, which 2 would you vote? Master J, go for it first.
If I'm playing, say it again.
2 out of the 3 wide receivers on the Pittsburgh team, which 2 are you playing?
I'd go with Juju and Claypool.
Okay. I like Claypool. I like Julio's choices. Who do you like?
I would also go Juju Claypool. The only reason I would do that is because Deontay Johnson has left a game early 4 games out of the year this year. That sucks because you're not getting a full game out of the guy.
Juice.
It may or may not happen, but
It's a legitimate
reason
it's a legitimate concern.
Yeah.
I will say the last 2 weeks he's gotten 10 and 11 targets.
Yeah.
So if he plays a full game,
He gets the
probably
targets.
going to do well.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely legitimate what he's saying.
On our run back here with Conley, we haven't done real well. Josiah, I don't know if you've been keeping up, but our cheap wide receiver calls haven't worked out real well. So could you help us? Is Conley the one? We like Conley?
I don't love Conley.
I love his price.
Last week, one of my cheap guys was Cole, and it went off. I don't love going with the same cheap wide receiver 2 weeks in a row.
How much is
that
Cole
usually-
this week?
He's $3,600. It's
That's
still
still
cheap
pretty
enough
cheap.
to work.
And the guy from Colorado, I forget. I can never pronounce his name.
Chenault?
Yeah.
Chenault. I don't know. He's coming off an injury. So
Yeah,
that's,
he's been pretty banged
yeah.
up the last few weeks. So that's
So
I
sounds like
like
he's gonna
I like
play.
Visca a lot too, but
Conley
the
or
injury.
Cole are the choice. We're gonna leave Conley right now for the savings if we want to.
I have a wide receiver that's going to be cheap, or that is cheap, and is that I'm actually going to finally be right on.
Okay.
And he's not too in the dark. It's kind of an obvious play, it's somewhat, but Jakeem Grant from Miami.
I do.
the name sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Senior, right?
He's $3,500. He's going to score 10 points this week.
I do think he'll score 10 points.
Yeah, at least.
I think he's a good play. I think
You could in
playing on the
theory,
road. It's their first road game, right? It's Tua's first road game. I'm a little nervous. We were nervous about Denver when Herbert went there to play, and he ended up lighting them
He
up.
did
It's fine, yeah.
He did fine.
So I like Grant. Right now we have 3 wide receivers, so we'll have to determine whether we're playing another wide receiver or if there's a.
I'm just throwing a cheap play out there to kind of try to redeem myself on cheap wide receivers.
I like it. I like Grant too. We could always. Man, I wish we could. Yeah, I agree that Robinson is probably. How much are they wanting you to pay for Robinson this week?
I think he's
60.
60.
still
600.
pretty far up there.
That's
yeah.
pretty high considering what's on. There's some stuff under him that I think would be a good play.
He's 6,400.
He's right under Chubb, and I would much rather play Chubb.
Me too. Okay, well let's flex over to defense. What Julio, you save your cheap defense for last. Does anybody got a defense that we should be looking at? In my cash game lineup I played Minnesota correlating with Cook, but
Which is a good play, I think.
he's 3,300. for Ray's league. Any other defensive names?
What
Jam
price
Master?
is considered cheap? Like under this price is cheap defense.
We'll say under 3,000.
Okay. Well, I don't have anyone under 3,000 I love, but I'm gonna go with Miami again.
Okay.
They've actually scored more points than any other defense in the league so far. And it's just over and over and over
We
again.
mentioned a few
And they're
weeks
playing
ago
Denver.
the
It's
Matt-
like
They're
the best
playing
matchup.
Denver. It's gonna be good. They're gonna score you points.
Cousin, you seem to like that.
I like Miami. I definitely think I'm gonna have some lineups where I want to go cheaper than that. But if I can get them, I'll definitely get them in.
If you're going cheaper than that, because I like going cheaper than that.
They're only
too.
3,400.
Only. I think a couple of receivers we're going to be playing are 3,400.
Jakeem Grant is 3,500.
Right. So, what are in the lower ranks? Do you see anything before, or do you want me to just push over to Julio and we'll get this done, and he can tell us who the cheap defense to play is?
I kind of like the Packers.
I do like the Packers. They're a little. They're. I'd give them cheap defensive. They're cheap defense. They're cheap-ish, right?
Yeah, they're not way down there, but
I'm
they're gonna save you
2,800.
some money.
I'm not a big Rivers guy. Is that you're kind of
Yeah.
picking on Rivers?
Yeah, he can
there?
definitely be a guy that throws 3 picks in a
I
game.
agree.
Yep.
Okay, Juice, give it to us. Who are we putting in here?
Oh man, this is a no-brainer.
we let
for
everybody
me.
else talk.
We've played these guys before, and they did us well.
Okay.
I'm going to go to the Washington football team, man. I think there's going to be a lot of passing going on in that game. Joe Burrow has been averaging over 40 attempts per game. Their offensive line sucks.
Yep.
Washington's defensive line is incredible.
A lot of chances for points there,
A
right?
lot of point scoring opportunities for the Washington football team.
So-
They're at home. And I like to correlate my defenses with the running back. I love Antonio Gibson again this week.
I do like. I mean, his touchdown equity is just there,
So,
right?
so I wanted to ask you guys this because McKissick is the other running back in
He's
Washington.
not a running back. If you watch him play, he's not a running back.
He's not, but he's labeled a running back in draft.
Right,
so
we
have
could
to
play
treat him as that.
I was wondering if he. I think he's how highly owned is he right now?
He's fairly highly owned, I think.
So we like Gibson though better than McKissick.
Let me ask you this though: if 29 targets in 2 weeks for a running back,
that's McKissick, right?
that's McKissick, dude. I mean, that's
so why are we not playing him?
because I think that Washington is going to be leading this game for
Okay.
the most part, and I think that I think they figured out last week when they were losing by 3 touchdowns to Detroit, they can't keep dumping the ball off to McKissick every play.
So I have Gibson both in this lineup and the cash lineup. You think he's a good cash play too?
I mean, I like. I'm sorry. Did you say McKissick?
No, I have Gibson.
Oh,
in both.
Gibson. Yeah, I like Gibson this week. And
I ran him back in our cash lineup with Burrow and Higgins though. So
I remember last week we were talking like they were on the 2-yard line. The Washington football team. They give the freaking ball to McKissick.
right, he could
And
have 3 touchdowns this week.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, Gibson could have exploded last week.
Right.
So, and he had, I mean, not a very great week because they decided to play him in the second half, really.
But he got 2 touchdowns. His touchdown
Yeah.
equity keeps keeping him in it.
Yeah, I think he's due for a really good game.
I like it.
He's
so
fairly cheap.
So right now, just so you guys know, we've got Ben Roethlisberger in, we've got Gibson, we got Swift, we got Claypool, we got Conley, we got Johnson, and we got Washington. Now I don't want to feel like I'm ignoring you guys.
McKissick, by the way, is
So-
4% owned, and Gibson is projected at under 11.
Okay, you guys like these plays?
Uh,
We got any voodoo on any of this? Plays?
I don't like Chris Conley.
Okay, we're gonna. That's he's just. He's,
He just put his voodoo
I
on
was
Chris
gonna- I was
Thompson.
gonna- I was- I was going to say
lineup.
this about Pittsburgh. Normally, I'm very high on correlating your plays, but I don't necessarily think with Pittsburgh this week that's
we
a
have
must.
to.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not a must.
Okay,
Yeah, it's not a must. So I'm open to that.
What
I'm
about-
open to that for sure.
because I liked Jam Master Jay's mention of Grant Senior.
Yeah, they're against Denver, not the best defense in the league, and he's got the opportunity. Tua doesn't hate throwing it to Grant, and Preston Williams is gone.
If we do Grant, that leaves us a lot to choose from with tight end and flex.
Yeah, tight end,
Tight end is so bad.
hard
Tight
this
end
week.
is so bad.
It's
So bad.
so you could literally
So why don't we
put
just
20
put-
names in a hat, pick one, and it'd be just fine.
Why don't we
Yeah.
just play Kelsey and then play?
That's
cheap
what I want to
flex?
do. I want to play Kelsey this week.
Okay, and just play cheap flex.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's not too bad.
In the main slate, you can't play Kelsey.
Guess what? We can squeeze Duke Johnson in at
No,
flex.
terrible.
We're not
call.
doing that. I like Judy coming back on the Grant play.
So my Gibson play, like I was going to, if we played Kelsey, I was going to run him back with T. Higgins, but since we don't want to play Chris Conley, we can kind of mess around with that a little bit.
I do like some T. Higgins, though. Is it worth playing Conley to get Higgins in, you think?
I mean, Higgins is consistently good. I mean, I don't necessarily feel like you have to play him.
Right. The choices we have with Grant in versus...
let's put Grant in. I want to see what we can come up with.
So with him, we can play Hines, Cooks, Judy, who is banged up, Henderson Jr., Cooper, Duke, who are not playing.
You know, another guy I like around Grant's price range is KJ Hamler for Denver. He's been getting buku targets.
How much is he?
He's just $100 more.
He's $100.
Me and Josiah were talking about him last week, and Hamler looks like he actually has the potential to be a pretty solid wide receiver in the league once he gets more opportunity.
He's definitely fast.
Yeah, he's fast. And, I mean, from what I've seen, he looks really good.
What do you think, Cuz? Would you rather play Grant than Conley? Because I want to just Conley. Let's see what Conley opens up versus.
I really don't love both. I would rather go Conley in this lineup just for the fact that
it correlates.
We got that game. But if we're looking for a cheap receiver, I like Denzel Mims.
Yes, I'm with you on Mims.
I like Denzel Mims a lot this week.
How cheap is Mims?
32 or 3.
So I'm going to tell you guys this because this is not this is not a Matt's league lineup, but I am very high on the Jets stack this week.
I kind of am too. So they're going to be playing from behind. They're coming off a bye. And they actually looked decent their last game.
I mean, Flacco did not look bad the last game he played.
So what about, is Mims, Kenyon Balaj, is that too off the radar?
I like Balaj. He's getting all the stuff now.
He got a ton of work.
We could run Waller back with Kelsey, too. We got DJ Moore.
I'm not in love with Waller this year for some reason. He's just not.
What did Waller do last time they played Kansas City?
I think he did okay.
He did okay. We should double check that though. We got some time here, guys, so let's put some thought into this. When I put Conley in here, Higgins pops up as a good play. I'm not playing Godwin with Ramsey running around on that field. I would just be scared he might decide to try to guard him one time. Ramsey just shuts people down, right? Can we agree on that?
Yeah, he's still really good.
He's a stud.
I like Higgins a lot this week. So Conley's just a dart. I mean, all we need is like 9 out of him.
He got 8 targets the last 2 weeks, but he got 12 and 8 points. He's 3,000. So I mean, he could totally do what you need him to do. I just don't love it. It's not like I'm vetoing him.
You're not giving him the voodoo.
No.
Okay, he's not.
This is not on Duke Johnson.
This isn't a Garoppolo, Duke Johnson.
No.
Okay, we're not gonna be putting on the intro next week. You say.
I mean, though, I kind of like looking at this from a like a 1v1. Like
it really is.
Grant, because if it's Grant and then Higgins, is there another wide receiver correlation play we can play that's around there?
I think DJ Chark is around there.
You're saying if we Grant Higgins play somebody else other than like Johnson, maybe?
Well, instead of Grant and Higgins, we can do another combo. That's like Judy and who do we mention with Miami? No,
with Grant, there was Waller. There was Higgins was with Grant or was with Conley. Let me put Grant back. Oh man, I'm screwing the lineup up. Let me get Johnson back in. I took Johnson out for a second.
If we take Grant and Higgins and
who would we go down on?
And Conley, we have 44.50 left for 2 spots.
Oh, so wait, we play all 3 of them?
No. I'm saying so if we go Roethlisberger, DeAndre Swift, Gibson, Deontay Johnson, Claypool, Kelsey, and the Washington football team, we have a wide receiver and a flex spot. And
Correct.
We have 44.50 for both those spots.
Correct. We can't do if we could do Grant and Higgins, I would just seal it in. I think. But we can't. That leaves us $500 over.
We have $500 we have to make up somewhere.
Yeah, and I don't know. I like our other plays, unless we wanted to go off of one of the Pittsburgh wide receivers and not double stack it. But I do like the stack on that game.
I think the reason I want to double stack with the Pittsburgh guys is
because all they do is pass.
Yes, and the other thing is I feel like if we just do one, we're having to hit for certain that one, versus 2 we're kind of minimizing our odds because I think they all three could have relatively good games.
Right.
And two of them could have big
Let's take a
ones.
vote like this. Who is the next player in this lineup? If we're good with the components of this lineup we have, who's the next player we want to get in?
I
and
mean,
work from
Gibson,
there?
I don't know if everyone was like totally sold on him, so we could even take him out and see if there's someone else.
I'd be open because we're playing Gibson and Cash.
Well, how much
so
time do we have? Do we have time?
we got about
We got
12 minutes.
12 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you guys hate Salvin Ahmed this week?
I don't.
I like him a
don't.
lot.
He's,
I like a bunch of
4,800. He's right around the price range that you need, and there's a flex spot for him, and you just have to find a wide receiver that fits in outside of that. He had 21 attempts last week, a touchdown, 85 yards.
Hey, I'm sold. I'm putting him in. Now that leaves us almost 5,000 apiece. Is Higgins our next favorite player?
Decide, do you like Higgins?
I mean, I like Higgins. I don't hate playing him. I don't love the matchup he's got this week, so he's not a lock for me, but he's not a void player either.
Okay.
I do like Emmanuel Sanders, though. He's a little cheaper.
How much is Emmanuel Sanders this week?
49.
49, and you like him more than Michael Thomas. You haven't talked about Michael Thomas at all. You don't like Michael Thomas
I like
this
Michael
week?
Thomas, but that's like a almost $4,000 difference between them.
So let me talk real quick. Amid, we putting Amid in. I put Grant in with him.
There is a chance that Breida comes back this week.
There is.
Yeah, there is, and we don't
that
know what will happen.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know.
He's still not sold on Amid.
Ahmed is just scares me a little bit.
He is a scary play. I wouldn't play him in all your lineups.
Yeah, and we need. This is a crucial week.
He's a
because
full part.
we can't have
Breida
him.
was a full
I like
participant
Embiid, though,
in
by the
Wednesday's
way.
practice.
Yeah,
So
I do think Breida will play. They might still go with Ahmed, but we don't know.
yeah, we don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think it's sort of. I think it's a little bit risky.
It's definitely risky.
I like what about Balaj instead of Gibson?
I like Balaj.
If we do that, we put Grant in. That leaves us. We can go DJ Moore, Waller, Fulgham, Boyd. We can go Judy. We can go
Giovanni Bernard's out there too. I mean, like they might be dumping the ball off quite a bit to him. So there's a lot of like sort of decent plays in that. Another guy that we didn't talk about that I really, really like is, but he's sort of like a Derrick Henry light, is Damian Harris for the Patriots.
I do like Damian.
I like
Harris.
Damian Harris this week too.
We can play.
He's
Damian.
been looking really good.
He's looked
He just
great.
hasn't gotten the touchdowns.
He hasn't got the touchdowns, but he also doesn't get the catches.
We're $100
Right.
off from being able. So if we put Balaj in, we're $100 off from playing Damian Harris at flex. That's. Who else can we go with? Oh, we can go with Giovanni Bernard instead of Balaj. We can go McKissick.
Yeah,
We were talking about Jacksonville receivers earlier. Do we not like DJ Chark this week?
I like DJ Chark.
So play him back.
I mean, I think it sounds like he fits in this lineup. And he has the potential to have a good game. Just 2 weeks ago, he had 150 yards.
He
and a
definitely
touchdown.
has a nice ceiling.
So if we put Chark in,
We could go Bernard.
I'm seeing $4,500 left over. Who are we putting in
So
as
here-
a cheap receiver?
So what I have is Roethlisberger, Swift, running back open, Claypool, Grant, Johnson, Kelsey, Shark, football team.
Oh, okay. So you have Grant. Okay, gotcha.
I like Grant. I think for $3,500, Grant pays off so easily, right?
I think so. I'm going to be playing
To
him.
me, he's the
lot.
easiest of the cheap receivers to pay off. And he's perfect for Tua because he can get open on those short, little, quick routes. So that leaves us. Are you okay with Grant Juice?
Yeah, I like Jakeem Grant. I mean,
Okay,
I liked
we
him
got
last
about-
week. So
We got about 2 minutes to wrap this up. So
So you got a running back spot left open?
yeah, and I like Giovanni Bernard in that spot.
Sure. I mean,
What about you? Or we go okay? We're going off Gibson again. We seem to.
I like Bernard, assuming that Mixon is out. If Mixon's in, I wouldn't want to play Bernard.
No, I wouldn't either. I mean, yeah,
It sounds like Mixon might play this week.
I don't hate McKissick. I mean, we think he's been paying off.
What about
You said he had-
Naheem Hines?
Himes?
He was basically J.D. McKissick last week, but better.
and he's playing a bad.
I feel
Green Bay
like
defense.
though with Indy though the court. I think the coach has come out and said that whoever is running hot, that's who he's going to
It
go
does
with.
seem like they've been doing that, which is scary.
And I
Gosh.
mean that scares the living crap out of me with the running back situation.
I really
'Cause
like.
they got three guys that they play.
I like. God, we're like $100 away from being able to play a lineup that we're really comfortable with. Because Because if I put Balaj in there, we're $100 off of what we need to do with.
Who do we have in at defense?
Washington.
We could go down to the Packers.
Yeah, I think
That's
I like the
$100 difference.
I just think that the sack total at Washington and the chance for Burrow to.
No, for sure. I like Washington this week too.
But we uncorrelated them with our running back. So.
You know, another defense that I sort of like that's cheap is Detroit. If Bridgewater's out.
Also, if we're not going to play any New Orleans players, we could play Atlanta's defense and hope that Winston sucks.
Right.
Because it could easily happen.
Oh, before I forget, I know you guys don't
Detroit.
play FanDuel, but on FanDuel there is the guy Taysom Hill for New Orleans.
Yep.
He's at tight end.
Yeah.
On FanDuel at minimum.
Wow.
So he's kind of like a free square.
Yeah.
So just for those people that play FanDuel, Taysom Hill as tight end eligible, $4,500. So
Okay, so I got a lineup that works. Tell me what you think. Roethlisberger, Balaj, Swift, Claypool, Grant, Johnson, Kelsey, Shark, Lions D.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I do too.
I think it sounds good.
You like it?
Yeah.
Okay. No voodoo. There's no voodoo
No.
on anybody, right?
No.
And obviously, as we say always, we change our lineup before kickoff based on information that comes in. But right now, I think this is a good lineup to roll with, and we'll close out this show doing some guessing and putting some stuff on tape here. You like it, Juice? You're not saying a whole lot now.
I like it. No, I really like it.
Still looking like he's examining the computer. So, we talked about a lot of this stuff, Cuz, but we'll go over it again just to kind of get it on air on your thoughts. What's your best play despite it? Let's focus on best value kind of play here, not necessarily best beast of the week or
Best value play. I think if we're going for,
if you had to play one player, who you playing?
if I'm trying to save value on someone, I'm looking at wide receiver. I'm going to go Gallup or Mims.
Okay, I like
Yeah.
Gallup. You mentioned Gallup.
Yeah.
How much is Gallup?
37.
37.
37.
Yeah, he's really cheap.
Yeah.
All the Cowboys are cheap this week.
True.
Lamb is
Amari
5,000.
Cooper's 5,400. CD's 5,000. I mean, they're all cheap.
Right. I like Schultz as a tight end too. We didn't talk about.
I like
Ezekiel
Schultz
is
as a tight end too, you're
6,500.
right.
I think Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like Zeke
Cash.
this
I'm
week though.
playing Schultz at tight end. I'm going to go with Burrow, Higgins, and Cash. You guys think that's okay? Or,
I love it, yeah.
We're going to talk. I'm going to talk to Juice about it, but that's where we're leaning. What's your best value play? Kind of.
Grant.
Yeah, I like Grant.
Grant's my guy. I think he's gonna have a good week. It's gonna be great. 3,500. He's gonna get at least 10 points.
I'm going to join you
That's
on
my hot
Grant
take.
because I think he's going to get 12, 15 points this week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who's your value? You gave us a lot of your good plays.
Again, it's throwback week, man. I mean, Joe Flacco,
You think so?
Super Bowl MVP.
So are there going to be some
How much is
crazy
Joe Flacco?
jet stacks?
He's 5K, guys.
5K. What, you gonna
he's
pair him with
nothing.
Jamison Crowder?
I mean, you could do so many different things with the Jets this week. I like Mims.
Hey, if we want to go
Yeah.
re-examine this,
There's also Perriman. He had a big week last time.
and you run it back with some of the Chargers.
I'll run naked Flacco on this lineup if you want to.
No. He's.
I would avoid that.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I'm just saying. Like, I think if you want to get really different, like Joe Flacco is a great play this
Yeah,
week.
I like Carr. I'm going to say Carr is my.
I like Carr this week
I
too.
really like the Carr, Hill, Kelsey stack. Don't worry about playing Oakland receivers. Just play Carr and then play all the Kansas City back at him. That's what I kind of like. Pick our best game? Where do you because you picked a good game last week to focus on it that maybe not everybody was on. That was the Cincinnati game.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this a little bit already, but if you're having to lay some tape here, where are you putting your points at?
Yeah, it's a tough week for one game, but
Or if you have an under that you think is just going to hit.
I think if I'm picking an under, I'm picking the Cleveland-Philadelphia game.
Okay.
That's
if you're picking an
probably
over,
worst
you're
one.
picking which one?
I'm going to go Atlanta-New Orleans.
That's fair.
I think that one could turn into a shootout.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a high-scoring game.
Master J, what games you want to go with?
One game that we've barely talked about today that I kind of like.
We haven't talked about Green Bay at all.
We haven't talked about Green Bay at all.
But they're playing Indianapolis.
They're playing the Colts.
Yeah, they've been tough.
But I like Tennessee and Baltimore.
That's an unusual.
Yeah, that one's been jumping
I'm
out at
really
me too.
surprised. I understand Tennessee's defense is not as good as advertised. That's why Lamar Jackson.
What is
Right.
Derrick Henry's ownership percentage this week?
It's got to be low because I didn't see him even when I was scrolling down.
Yeah.
He is 6%.
6% owned on a Derrick
Wow.
Henry.
You love you some Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry's 8K this week. If you're looking for like a dart throw, I guess, since he's 6% owned or projected to be owned.
I think there'll be a lot of people that plays in Rays League. I think some people are smart enough that Derrick Henry will be leveraged against the field. Why not, right? I mean, it's a good alternative to Cook, right?
Yeah, good
So if
alternative.
you like that game, though, you like Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
we're not playing
It could
Cook
be
in
a
our
week
lineup.
where he goes off. I mean, I think at some point he'll have a huge
As
week.
we finish up, we're good with not playing Cook, right?
Yeah, I am. I don't want to cook this week.
Okay, give me your under or over, Julio, that you like.
I think Cincinnati Washington's going to go over.
I like that one too.
I think I like both the offenses
I
this
do
week.
too.
I think that Baltimore game's going to go under.
Okay.
You
I
think
can
it's going
see
to go
that,
under?
too.
And I think if the ownership holds and we're not really a big part of that game, that's going to be a good game to fade. A lot of people are on Mark Andrews this week, just FYI. We didn't spend a lot with tight end.
No, because we just said.
Well, in the
listen,
main
just said
slate,
pay
he's
up.
the most expensive guy.
we just said we're going Kelsey because he's available on our slate.
Right.
We want to play him. So
But tight end is an absolute dumpster fire this week. It's as I feel like I say this every week. It's as bad as I've ever seen it this
okay,
week.
because we're going to be wrapping this up. So your last thing you're laying on tape here is what is your must play, your big explosion, the one that's going to make you look good next week when we're talking about you saying this is the play you wanted in the lineup.
I think my must play is going to be, and he's kind of a value play too, but I'm going to go with Emmanuel Sanders.
Okay, you mentioned him a lot. We didn't play with him much in the lineup, but
I think that he could have a big game. I don't think he's washed up. Just Drew Brees don't throw the ball down the field anymore. Jameis Winston will.
I think that's a good play. I feel like we should have talked a little bit more about the Kamara versus Thomas debate this week.
Right.
Because I think that's going to be a big decision
that's
people are
that's
making.
a game we kind of just faded in general that could be high scoring because Atlanta's terrible and New Orleans defense isn't what it was last year, and
Right.
Atlanta seems to be able to put up statistics against any defense. They just don't
Seems like New Orleans has kind of gotten their defense a little bit right though lately.
Their defense has been good the last few weeks.
So would you think a Cook Kamara combo and Cash would be something you'd look at?
I have built some lineups with both Cook and Kamara in, and I don't mind them.
Okay, we'll talk about that because
Yeah.
I could be persuading Cash to play that. I'm a little nervous about Jameis Winston not having time for Kamara, but we'll see if he does. And Jam Master Jay, before we get what's your must play? We always call
So
your
I have-
Derrick Henry. Is it Derrick Henry? Your Derrick Henry
No.
this week?
No, it's not Derrick Henry. Let me ask you a question. Do you guys think Winston is going to be playing from behind versus Atlanta?
I mean, he could. I always say there's a dolphin at SeaWorld that predicts how NFL games go better than I do. So I would think the answer is no. But with Atlanta, they've gotten up on everybody. So
Okay. So I think Michael Thomas is going to be an absolute stud this week.
we didn't look at him much.
He's going to be my must play. Going to be in every single one of my lineups. Michael Thomas, he's in a great opportunity.
Heckenkamp was just a couple weeks early, huh?
And listen, Winston.
Listening back to the Heckenkamp, this is for you. Listening back to that show, I love the Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas, yeah.
It was very
Confident.
very masculine.
It was
the way
very,
he said
it was very enjoyable. Michael
James,
Thomas.
it's just I feel like Winston's going to be playing from behind, or he's going to be in a situation where he has to pass. He's going to pass it to either, I guess, Emmanuel Sanders or Michael Thomas. I think Michael Thomas is going to outscore him.
So
I think
the cousins
is the
are kind of
week
battling.
or-
This is kind of family feud here. We got
Yeah,
one
this is
side
gonna be an
Sanders,
interesting
we got
Thanksgiving dinner.
one side Michael Thomas. I mean,
Michael Thomas has something to prove this week, and he's in a great opportunity to do
you know what
that.
I look forward to?
I feel like we've been saying that every single week with Michael Thomas.
Right. We've been saying that every single week.
draft
but
him in your season long in the first round. See how that feels.
I did.
Yeah,
I did do that.
That's
He
painful.
had 2 catches last week for 27 yards. He
Yeah,
broke a lot.
right
of
up there with
people's hearts
taking
last
Lamar
week.
He
Jackson.
didn't even have
in
a
the
lot of
third round.
targets.
Exactly. He broke a lot of people's hearts. No one's going to want to play him, and he's going to kill it. Michael Thomas is going to kill it.
Jam Master Jay's getting it on tape right now. Okay, Julio, we're wrapping up the show. We're just a few minutes over here. Who is your? Hopefully he's in our lineup. Please tell me your must play is in our lineup.
But who are we playing again? No, I'm kidding.
I like Swift. I'm going to go with Swift as mine.
Swift is a great one. I like
love
Swift too.
Swift this week. I think
Herschel Walker
I hope
Jr.
people get off of him a little bit because I'm hoping people are like, he can't do this 2 weeks in a row. I hope that's the.
And his price went up a little bit.
His price
so
went up a
maybe-
little bit.
yeah.
I'm gonna put it all out there. I think Big Ben just has a monster.
I like it a
I'm
lot.
thinking 4 touchdowns, 400 yards this week. That's what I'm thinking.
For Big Ben?
For
okay,
Big Ben.
Good. I
Nice.
like it. I needed to hear that. That's a good way to end the show. Real quickly, there is some COVID stuff affecting the slate here late. Did you see that today that some bunch of players got added to the COVID list? Or
I saw that all teams are under like intensive protocol or whatever it is.
we'll monitor that. Yeah, I think that wraps it up. Very enjoyable show, guys. Went fast. Lineup came together well. We'll still tinker with it. We'll get your opinions. You're going to get to play us in a 4-man contest for $5. So
Sweet.
you could take.
Who won last week?
I think you did. Obviously, I'm going to guess Julio. By the way, that came out right.
Yeah, I think it must be. I think Julio has 2 wins. I have 2 wins.
I have 3.
Are you sure you have 3?
I'm guaranteeing if he's telling you he has 3 that's been counted.
Yeah, I think last week kind of.
So what are we
if
on?
you had 2, I had 2. I think that put me in the lead.
This is week 8, so 7, right? So 3, 2, and 2.
Maybe I thought I was in the lead with 2, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
Well,
Julio
we've done it
has
7 times.
7 times.
Oh
then,
no, because I think Gardy won.
Yeah.
Oh
Gardy
yeah,
won.
and Heckenchamp.
You won 1, I think.
I was gonna say 2 sounds a lot for me.
Yeah.
So
I know Gardy won 1. I won the week that Heckenchamp was here.
Yeah.
So guests have done well.
Yeah.
So
right.
we're gonna expect to see. I like that because I throw my most random lineups in that one just to see what I'm searching for 250 or bust, right? Like in that one, I don't want to beat you guys. I want to embarrass you guys, and that's so. Anyway, thanks to everyone who has taken the time to listen. I think it was a very informative show. We got 3 opinions of 4 opinions, I guess, this week, and I appreciate that. We can't play everybody. That's the hard part.
Absolutely.
But there's some good. I think we mentioned some good cheap plays, and I think Julio fading Cook is a big deal. I think going on the Pittsburgh game was a big deal. I didn't see that one coming, so I like it though. We'll post last week what we ended up doing. Stick with what you heard on the show and not what we actually played. It was much better. The intro will sound better be based on what we actually said instead of what we played. And hopefully we'll be in first next week. Next week will be Thanksgiving, right?
Yes.
So we'll be doing the show on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I'm game early morning Thanksgiving. I mean, you guys want to come over here?
Yeah,
So
I
we're
can't-
going to have
I
to
can't
talk
do
about
it.
2 slates:
I'm
the
kidding.
Thanksgiving Day and then the main slate.
I think so because I have a lot of friends that do just play
Thanksgiving slate.
Yeah,
It's a fun one.
Like we'll get a group of guys who don't usually playing a Thanksgiving Day slate just because it gives you something to do while you're watching. the
Yeah.
game.
So I may have to have a cocktail or 2 when we're doing the breakdown. On Wednesday.
Oh wow, cocktail Wednesday. Okay, so big
Nice.
show coming up
Yeah,
next week. It's going to be on
big
Wednesday. Julio will be drinking. That's amazing. It's been a long time since I've gotten to enjoy Julio drinking. Hopefully he'll be singing "Every Rose Has a Thorn" as the band plays. That's a
One
story.
can only hope.
That's a story for next week. I'm gonna tease that story for next week. The Juice singing "Every Rose Has a Thorn." It was amazing.
Might be happening.
Make sure my kids don't listen to that episode.
Don't worry, Uncle Matt will make sure all those stories, when they're old enough to comprehend how hilarious it is, we'll tell them. But till then, we won't. Jenny, if you're out there, listen.
Sure.
Say up to Mama Quadra.
Sure.
Hi, Mama Quadra.
Hi,
We
Jenny.
love you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, wives, for sharing. Are you also married?
I'm not married. Nope.
Good, smart man.
Smart man. Genius. I like his picks more now.
But to our guys with girls, thank you for sharing with kids. We appreciate the kids. Any Christian updates?
No, I mean no tournaments. It's kind of like the dead season right now, so it's all good. It's got a lesson in it today.
So I got a text asking if the wallet ever got returned. Right? No. Didn't show up in the mail.
Never
Okay,
showed
just
up.
We checked.
I've got a new wallet now, though.
Do we have a new driver's license?
Not yet. It's in the mail, supposedly.
That's why your boss is a lawyer. So we'll get you through it. Anyway, ran over just a few minutes. It was fun. Enjoyed it. We'll be back next week for the Thanksgiving Day show, which I actually now we're really looking forward to because I think
Tonight's game's
going
gonna
to
be fun too.
Yeah, tonight's game.
Arizona,
game's
Seattle.
great.
Oof.
Who cares if we go over a few more minutes? Thoughts on tonight's game? Because if you're making a showdown slate, who's your captain? Because tonight's a really fun game.
Well, Tyler Lockett, last time he had a big game, it was against Arizona.
So you're
They
gonna-
shut down DK Metcalf.
So
I think they're going to do it again.
You're okay with 25 points in your captain spot, right?
Well, I think last time they played Arizona, he had 75 points in
Oh.
his captain spot.
Okay, so Cuz likes
We'll
Lockett. Other Cuz, who do you like, Jam Master Jay?
I mean, Kyler Murray seems like a pretty safe captain spot.
I mean, he is the captain. He's the alpha. He should be playing.
I'm pretty much going to put him in and then just work it out the rest of the spots.
Just hope the rest of them see so he can squeeze in.
Yeah.
So you going heavy Cardinals or heavy Seahawks?
I'll probably mix it up. I mean,
What about you? You going heavy?
I
I'll
like
probably go heavier Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys want to like?
Kyler kind of hogs all the
Should we
points.
do it? You guys want to do a 4-man showdown league tonight?
Yeah.
Sure.
Just for fun?
I'm going to do
$5
Kyler
or
Murray and
$5?
Metcalf is
$5
definitely
or
going to be in
free?
my lineups.
I'm good for 5.
Sure, 5 is fine.
The free ones we can side bet,
I'll do
right?
250.
250.
250 max.
Let's get that cash money back. Okay, $5 showdown. So we'll quit talking about it since we're going to actually do it, and we'll talk to you next week about. We'll talk Wednesday. I'm excited. We don't even have to wait till Thursday. So anyway, for you guys who are listening, we are available on new channels. Tell us where we're available now.
Right now, we are available on, as soon as it reloads here, we're on Google Podcast. We're on Anchor FM, which is anchor.fm on...
Which we'll be doing a little ad for right here soon.
Yeah, here soon. They'll be one of our
Love
sponsors.
You, Anchor. Good job, Anchor.
We're on, obviously, YouTube. We're on Breaker. We're on Pocket Casts. We're on Radio Public. And I'm not sure if I've said it already, but we're on Spotify as well.
Okay. And you made your boss one promise. What's that?
We're going to be on Apple Podcasts this week.
Okay.
I just found the option to do that, so I'll figure it out.
Milking me for a raise here by promising.
Yeah, we'll be on Apple Podcasts at some point this week, but for forever starting now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. We anticipate. I don't want to be searching again and not be able to find it. That was tough on me. So.
Yeah.
Okay, Juice, any last things? We got about 1 minute before we're wrapping this up.
This is going to be a fun slate because I think every game is like kind of a copycat of the other. So a lot of research, man.
And if you're listening out there and you're bored on a Tuesday and Wednesday, Maction lineups are the best.
Yeah. Oh, you crushed it last night.
I crushed it. That was so lucky. It wasn't any skill involved. It's complete guessing, but the Maction brings a lot of fun. Have you played any of that?
I haven't, no.
They score so many points, and each week it's like the NFL. You never know which team's going to show up to beat who. So it's pretty fun. And it's on Tuesday and Wednesday when there's nothing else going on.
Real quick, last night, NBA draft.
Yeah.
So I'm getting fired up for NBA.
I think I definitely knew 3 players' names for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, at least 3.
LaMelo Ball. You know,
I knew
him.
I knew the Kansas guy.
Udoka Azubuike.
That's the
Going
guy.
to the Jazz,
I
baby.
knew him, and I knew the kid from Memphis.
And I knew Sam Presti making just baller pick moves.
Somebody said their pick that the guy that this Thunder got is really good. I don't know. Anyway, we won't waste time on that. We're going to have NBA podcast coming up. But so exciting NBA draft last night. And tonight's going to be great. So we got a great start to the week. And this was a great show. Enjoyed it. And look forward to next week. We'll see you guys right before the holidays. And hopefully we'll get you some money paid off over the holidays. So
sounds good.
Thanks, everybody.
130-minute show. An hour and a half next week for sure. So 90 minutes. If you want to come back, because it is Thanksgiving.
Absolutely, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, seriously, thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. And we appreciate your help. And hopefully
it's good help.
Hopefully we got some stuff on tape.
That was awesome.
So enjoyed it. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks a lot.
See you later.